Good evening. Welcome to the Spiritual But Not Religious Show. I'm your host, George Lewis. I have got a fantastic show lined up for you tonight. But before I tell you about that, let me tell you a little about the Spiritual Broadcasting Network and about my show. Uh, the Spiritual Broadcasting Network came into being for one purpose, and that was to bring you the many varied voices of our spiritual but not religious community. That community has grown in huge numbers recently. Not recently, over the last few years. And what we have are people who believe in a higher power, in a God, by any number of definitions, but really don't have a community that they go to, like a church or no real gathering place. And as a consequence, we really don't have a voice. And so in some parts of the country, there just aren't any of us there at all. It's just, pockets of people that what we believe and the varied things we believe just aren't available. So we want to be able to bring your voice into that community. Now, Spiritual But Not Religious show really was the originating idea of all of this, or at least in the early stages. And it was intended to do exactly the same thing, bring, the varied voices of our spiritual community. Tonight, before I talk about tonight's guest, let me just give you a little hint about next week's guest. You'll definitely want to tune in. My guest for next week lives down here on the East Coast over in the Miami area. She's living large on the water, steps from the beach. Her name is Cynthia Faye Siegel, and she is an exceptional psychic. And I've talked with a lot of psychics, but Cynthia has just so many different capabilities, ways that she does it. She can get in touch with your pet, find out what's going on with your pet. She's got some really interesting stories of what's happened there. Tune in. We'll be get into our chat room or give us a call, and we'll get you get you a reading, a little free mini reading, and you'll have a really good time. She's just a wonderful, lively personality. Tonight I've got actually two different guests, both artists and superb artists. My first guest is MisMagikal from London, England. She's up at 2 o'clock in the morning there in order to be able to participate in our show. And our second guest, and somewhere around the midpoint of the show, depends on our timing with our first guest, I have Cynthia Lucas. Cynthia and Cal Kern have produced a PBS documentary called Rumi Returning: The Triumph of Divine Passion. And I haven't seen the whole documentary. I've seen parts of it. Really well done. It's just been viewed all over the world and on many different venues. And you're going to enjoy talking with Cynthia about the production and about Rumi. Rumi was for those of you who aren't aware of Rumi, was a Sufi poet, and so Sufism is going to be our topic tonight. And we're going to talk about why Sufism and why Rumi and really his contribution to the world. Actually, Rumi is the #1 poet in the United States since 9/11. And we're talking about a Middle Eastern poet who hailed from Baghdad back centuries ago. And it's a pretty interesting story all the way around. So stay tuned. We're going to get MisMagikal on here shortly. She's really well known for her songs of love, light, and spirituality. She's a musician. We're going to get her on, and then I'm going to have her sing a song for you. Now, we haven't used Skype for music, so we're not sure just how well it's going to come across for you, the audience. However, Tom is going to give you in the chat room a link where you can actually go. She has a whole album up that she's offered for at no charge. You can listen to the songs online. You can download them, put them in your iPod, do whatever you like. And I'll tell you what, she's got a magical voice and a great personality. You're going to totally enjoy our conversation with her. Tommy, we have Magical on the line.
She's on the line.